Alright guys, today we have more PlayStation and Xbox rumors to go over and talk about. We have some pretty interesting info that I think you guys are going to want to hear about. So before we get into it, do me a big favor and hit that like button to help the video out and show your support. I would really appreciate that. And make sure you hit the subscribe button as well if you are new here to the channel. Now the first thing we're going to be talking about is PlayStation's next proper event. There has been radio silence from not only Sony, but pretty much across the entire industry. We have literally nothing to go off of other than, patterns, right? By that I mean, we know that it's very likely Sony's going to have a proper games showcase event. I'm not talking about another state of play. I'm talking about something much bigger than that, similar to the future of gaming events that they did last year and the big events that they've had pretty much every year before that, right? So that's what I mean by patterns, and that's really all we have to go off of. I have seen some people speculate that maybe Sony's not going to do anything this year. I don't think that's likely at all. I mean, I don't want to say anything definitively, but I just don't think that's really a possibility. It would make no sense for Sony to not have a proper game showcase of some sort this year. And if they're going to do it, it just makes sense to do it during the summer. That's just kind of how these things go. So the rumor I have to go off of here, it's nothing concrete. I want to make that clear. It's not like we're getting specific dates, but we are potentially getting some time frames here. And I want to make it clear that this individual we're talking about, they're not saying anything in a very definitive manner, but this person has actually been correct a few times in the past, specifically in 2020 when it comes to the future of gaming events. He did correctly give us some dates and some time frames for when those events were going to happen, and he was correct with that. So we're talking about Roberto Serrano over on Twitter. Some of you may be familiar with him. I don't know how his track record has been since then. I haven't really been following too closely, but I do know that he has some kind of contact or source that can reliably give him some info on when Sony's events are locked in, apparently, or when they're hoping to do them. And so he responded to some individuals on Twitter, and we have one person asking, when is the next PlayStation showcase? And he says, I hope to have more reliable info within the next 2 weeks. As of now, Sony could have its conference in late June or early July. Now, I want to focus on the fact that he's letting us know he plans to have some more info in the next 2 weeks, so before the end of May. And I'm hoping that he does, because again, he has been reliable in the past. It sounds like he's predicting late June and early July, but we actually have more tweets to go over here. We have another individual asking for any possible dates for Sony's June event, and he said previously planned for early June. I think Sony is looking to hold its conference in late June, early July for internal reasons. So what's interesting about this is he seems to be revealing that based off of his information and potentially his sources, that Sony was planning for early June, but the plans have since changed. He mentions internal reasons. To me, it seems obvious that if Sony pushes back their event to late June or early July, it's because they want to go after E3, especially knowing that Microsoft is going to be at E3 and Bethesda is going to have their own event as well. Sony may want to give themselves some breathing room to potentially add some things on if need be at the last moment to, combat anything big that may be revealed at Xbox's E3 or Bethesda's. So I thought that this was pretty interesting. And finally, he answers one more here. We have another person saying, Sony's June event, will it be before or after E3? And he says, I'm confident in late June, early July. Please wait. So it sounds like he has a really good hunch that it's going to be happening at the end of June and the beginning of July, but he seems like he's waiting for confirmation. I mean, he pretty much says that himself. Sounds like he got confirmation that Sony was shooting for early June, but now it's going to get pushed back. And it seems he's just predicting that, logically speaking here, if it's going to get pushed back, it's probably going to be, after E3 is done, late June. Again, this is just a rumor. This isn't like confirmation of anything, but this is pretty much the only thing we have to go on. Like, I couldn't find anything else on a PlayStation event or anything. Sony has again, been radio silent. And so a lot of you have been asking me if I've had any info. Obviously, I don't have any sources, I don't have any contacts. If I did, I would let you know. But Roberto Serrano has correctly given us some good information in the past, specifically when it comes to PlayStation events. And he's currently saying late June, early July, and that he will update us in the coming weeks. He's waiting to get, some confirmation. So hopefully he does that. And if and when he does, I will be sure to report that to you guys. But make sure you leave your thoughts down below and let me know when you think Sony's next proper event is going to be. Do you think Roberto Serrano is correct here, where it's going to be late June or early July? Or do you think that it's going to be sooner than that? Let me know. Just to finish this off and move on to the next topic, I just want to let you know my personal thoughts. I think late June, early July makes a lot of sense. I think it would actually really benefit Sony to try to wait as long as they can, simply because we know that things are a little bit more unpredictable for Microsoft this time around. We know that Sony is taking Microsoft seriously as a competitor now, especially with, the Bethesda acquisition. So I think it would just benefit them greatly to wait as long as they can and give themselves more time to potentially, change some things around if need be to react, right? And we also could see Sony maybe acting like, hey, we're going to save the best for last if they're very confident in what they're going to show. Anyway, we're going to move on from that and talk about another rumor regarding Starfield. Now, I want to talk about this because it seems that there are, some people who still believe that Starfield is going to be coming to PlayStation 5. And I kind of understand this. I mean, in my opinion, back in March of this year during the Bethesda Xbox roundtable, I think Phil Spencer made it pretty clear that most future Bethesda titles were not going to be coming to PlayStation. I mean, he was still somewhat ambiguous. He pretty much said that they plan to ship these games where Game Pass exists. And right now, we know that Game Pass does not exist on the PlayStation ecosystem. So, Starfield is a big game that a lot of people are very excited to finally see. We're fully expecting to see it revealed properly this year. And so we have a journalist, Jeff Grubb, apparently confirming that Starfield is not going to be coming to PlayStation 5. Now, I do need to let you know that, Jeff Grubb, he has a pretty decent track record. Some people have pointed out that he has actually gotten things wrong in the past, but he seems very confident in what he's saying here, which is why I feel confident, on reporting on it, because he's really putting his reputation on the line here. I mean, he's not saying he thinks or he predicts. He's flat out saying that he's confirming it's not coming to PS5. So journalist Jeff Grubb, who has a number of inside sources and revealed details about games in the past, has come out and confirmed that Starfield will be exclusive to Xbox and PC platforms, not hitting PS5 at all. The news comes as the waters were beginning to get muddied about the exclusivity regarding the game, and Jeff Grubb wanted to clear up his statement and confirm the exclusivity clearly. This news isn't particularly surprising for those who've been following the game and Bethesda, as Phil Spencer said earlier this year that new Bethesda games would only release on platforms where Game Pass exists. But if you want to get a look at what he said, you can go check out his tweet, obviously, and word for word, he says, Starfield is exclusive to Xbox and PC, period. This is me confirming that. So, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty bold statement. And again, I know not everybody believes Jeff Grubb is, 100% correct, but in my opinion, he's clearly putting his reputation on the line here by saying this so definitively because, if he were to say something like this and he really wasn't sure, it would be a really bad thing if we found out Starfield was coming to PS5. I mean, he would essentially lose all credibility at that point. So, I'm not surprised if this, is true. I'm not going to be surprised at all if Starfield's revealed and there's just no mention of it coming to PlayStation 5. But I did want to clear this up because, there are some PlayStation fans who may actually still be fully expecting this game to come to PS5. And we don't know. I mean, until Microsoft officially, reveals this game and lets us know, clear as day, this is not coming to PlayStation, there's always that possibility, right? No matter who we're listening to or what's being said, there's always the possibility, right? But it seems very likely at this point that it's not going to come to PS5. So one last thing I want to mention here about Starfield before I wrap this video up is apparently we have yet another leak, because things are just leaking out constantly now when it comes to Starfield. We have new images that are leaking, but now we're getting a potential release date that's coming out. So, a new Starfield screenshot has leaked online, providing another look at the upcoming role-playing game in development by Bethesda. The new screenshot, which has been shared online by Skullsy, features a gorgeous-looking interior, which looks even more impressive considering this screenshot is taken from a 2018 build of the game. And it does look fairly impressive. I'm really wondering if Starfield's going to be like that first game that actually showcases what the Xbox Series X can really do. It looks like it might be. So yeah, it looks pretty visually good there. And it goes on to say, Skullsy also talked about Starfield's release date, saying that the game is likely targeting a Q1 2022 release. Says, I'd consider Starfield 2022 basically confirmed from what I've been hearing. Seems to be Q1, most likely March. Lots of releases this fall anyway, and Starfield will have more in-game systems than any other Bethesda game, so they have a lot of polishing and testing to do. We'll see. He goes on to say, still a small chance of a 2021 release, but there's a lot of talk going on centered around 2022. Either way, Starfield will certainly have some sort of presence at E3 2021, one way or another. So, this is fairly interesting to me because it seems that a lot of Xbox fans or even PlayStation fans who care about Starfield, a lot of us are assuming that Starfield will be releasing in 2021. At least that's what a lot of people are hoping for. I don't think it's going to release in 2021, and we're seemingly getting, some more leaked info here letting us know that it's going to be Q1 2022. What really fascinates me about this conversation is that if this is true and it does end up releasing in early 2022, like March or something, I feel like that's when the next God of War is also going to release, right? We know that Sony said God of War 2021, but that's not going to happen. Horizon Forbidden West is going to be the big holiday game this year. And then, God of War, it could be a late 2022 release, but it seems more likely it'll be the first half of 2022, maybe releasing in February or March. It would be crazy to see God of War go up directly against Starfield. That would be interesting, to say the least. So there you go. I just wanted to go over some of this information with you guys. At this point, I'm going to ask you to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know what you think about everything we discussed here. What do you think about the next PlayStation event? What do you think about Starfield and these rumors and these leaks? Just leave all your thoughts down below. Leave it a like. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon. And feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.